Hello once again, everybody. I'm Jake Lucci, and welcome to my video coaching newsletter. Joining me today is a special guest, the Lucci Prospect Group soccer rep, Katie Heap. We're here to talk about the do's and don'ts of social media when it comes to college recruiting for active prospects and potential prospects, prospects looking to earn college scholarships, and prospects that are currently in college looking to better their careers and get to the professional level. Katie, as most of you know, is a professional soccer player herself, and I play professional baseball, so we have some pretty good insight on what to do and what not to do when it comes to social media. So the first point that I would say is to know one thing, is that the don'ts on social media can seriously cost you a college scholarship. We've seen it plenty of times. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, social media is huge because, like everyone knows, college coaches are checking that on the daily basis. When a kid comes in and they see their name pop up, I think, probably one of the top things that they do is go look them up on social media.
Yeah, it's one of the first things that college coaches do, because if you can get an understanding of who the prospect is before you even meet him or her, then obviously you're going to be able to do what you need to do in order to get the most information before you even get the kid on campus. So I think it's really important that prospects have good social media. And also, another thing that we might want to talk about is the importance of parents having good social media as well. I would say that the majority of parents aren't on there doing a bunch of crazy stuff, but parents, you are a representation of your son or daughter, and so I think it's important for that. But today's focus is the do's and don'ts of social media. So a don't is making sure that you have clean social media. What we mean by clean social media is it's very easy these days to be looking at a lot of different things and posting things that are questionable. Give me an example of what a questionable post might be on social media.
I would say, don't have alcohol in your post. That's a big no-no, especially even for me today. I still do not post anything. I'm 25 years old, but I still keep my social media clean and free of alcohol in any of my posts.
And I think that applies. That's a good point. I think that applies with high school athletes. Obviously, you're not legally able to drink, so probably not a good idea to be posting stuff with alcohol in it. But also in college, I think that college athletes, even though they are legally allowed to drink, it's just probably not a good look to be posting pictures of yourself at a party. Don't worry, this is coffee, regular coffee, all right? So if you're posting regular beverages, that's fine. But even a red Solo cup or a blue Solo cup might get you in trouble. You might be thinking that you're at a party and, hey, we're hanging out with our boys or we're hanging out with our teammates and our girls, and we got the red Solo cup. So technically, a college coach doesn't know that there's alcohol in the cup. College coaches are not dumb. They really have been doing it. Most of them have been doing it a long time. And when they're going on your social media and they're looking and they see all these different posts of you out with different people and you're partying and doing stuff like that, it's probably not a good look. Number two, I would say be very aware of the types of posts that you're liking, especially on Twitter and Instagram. If you are a prospect that is liking questionable posts, so a lot of guy athletes, they like to like pretty girls on Instagram and Twitter and stuff like that. A lot of times that will pop up in your feed, and your friends and the people that follow you will be able to see so-and-so liked this post, and then it'll pop up on your timeline. So I think that's another good one, is you got to be really careful about what you actually do like.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people don't know that even happens. I see all the time when I'm scrolling through Twitter, and it's, some guy like this, crazy post, and it's now on my feed. I'm like, oh gosh, like... and it's, again, not a good look if a college coach follows you and sees that you're liking these,
questionable posts.
Yeah, crazy things.
Exactly. So I think as a prospect, what you have to realize is if there is a question on what you're liking, then you probably shouldn't like it. As easy as it may be to say, touch the heart button and give it a like, give it a favorite, or give it a retweet. People see this stuff. People know what's going on, especially college coaches. And if a college coach is going to invest, these scholarships a lot of times are six-figure scholarships. If they're going to invest thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars in you, you have to understand that they're not wanting to take risks, right? Character actually does matter when it comes to college coaches. So if you're a prospect that's liking questionable posts or posting questionable things on your feed, both of those can be ways of getting really crossed off a list really quickly. All right, what are some of the do's, would you say, on social media? I know we were talking about earlier in our meeting about, hey, it's important for prospects to have a social media presence. At LPG, what we like to do is we like to get coaches to see our kids' stuff, but then we want to redirect those coaches to that kid's profile. So I would say having a social media presence is really important. A lot of parents will say, well, we don't want our kid on social media at all. And we kind of look at them and we kind of challenge that, because why? If a college coach is trying to recruit a kid, he wants to get that information. He or she wants to get that information about that kid earlier, before they even bring them up on campus and waste their time. So
right.
Obviously what you're posting really does matter.
Yeah, I think posting some graphics of you playing in some games, some video, especially because when these college coaches go to your profile and see that you're present and hey, you're playing for this club team or this high school team, right? They can take that information in and learn from it.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, because if you have nothing on your social media feed, a parent might say, well, good, my kid's not doing anything bad on social media, but it could cost you a college scholarship. Simply why? Because you don't have a presence. No one knows who you are. But the idea with social media is you obviously want to personalize it, you want it to be fun, and you want to be able to interact with your friends. We're not saying it has to be solely everything about your sport or everything about what sport you're trying to get your scholarship in. But if you don't have a social media presence, it's almost... It could work against you, right? It could be a negative thing, because a college coach is like, well, is this kid really dedicated? I mean, I know for me, I love the kids that, you always see their screen names and stuff like that, and they say, soccer is my number one, goal, or God, soccer, and family, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That, to me, if you have something like that in your bio, that shows me what? That you're dedicated, that you're really focused on your sport and making your sport the best, making yourself the best that you can be for your particular sport. So I think that's important. In fact, when I first started, you've been working with LPG for a year and a half now.
Yeah.
And I remember when we looked you up, you had a little soccer ball emoji next to your name. So we knew that, you love soccer. So I think that passion, right, is important. Coaches pick up on that.
Yeah.
So.
And I think also, post about your friends and your family too. Like, you can still have your personality on your profiles, but, just be smart about it.
Mm-hmm. All right, so another do, what would you say would be good?
I think about your followers, so the people you're following, make sure, you're following all the right kinds of people. Because, again, college coaches are going to, nitpick everything. They're going to look at everything that you're doing, who you're following, right, and everything you're posting, of course.
Yeah, and how easy is it for you to go on, unless it's obviously a private account, which we don't recommend prospects have private accounts, because what are you trying to hide? Right, because if a college coach is going on there and he wants to see more information about you and it's a private account, he's not going to be able to really see anything. He or she are not going to be really... I use he when it comes to college coaches a lot, but I know that there are a lot of great female college coaches out there. But those coaches are obviously able to go in and click on the followers, and they can scroll through and see everyone that you're following, right? And so if you're a male athlete and you're following a bunch of questionable people, and you male athletes know what I'm talking about, Instagram models and stuff like that, that's going to raise some concerns, right? So what you're trying to do is you're trying to mitigate those risks. You're trying to mitigate the opportunity for a college coach to write you off the list. You want social media to be a plus. You want it to be a positive thing. You want it to be something that's gonna show coaches that you're really tuned into your sport, that you believe in what you're doing, and that you're a good person. I think that not only being passionate about your sport, but making sure that you're following the right people, making sure that you're favoriting the right things, but more importantly than anything is you have to be active. You cannot be the type of person that just says, I'm just not into it, right? College recruiting is changing every day. I mean, we're in the midst of a pandemic, and I'm sure that if you're watching this during 2020, that you know exactly what I'm talking about, and even if you're watching it years down the road, you know what I'm talking about. There is a shift occurring, and college coaches are not able to recruit in person. They literally cannot do it. The dead period has been extended so many times by the NCAA where college coaches cannot recruit in person. So what are they turning to? Who are they turning to? They're turning to pros like Katie. They're turning to pros like myself. They're turning to recruiting companies. There are very few, but recruiting companies and people that they trust. And if a college coach is able to recruit from his cell phone and invite kids to campus eventually when this pandemic gets over with, that's what they're going to do. They're going to put in, hopefully, I don't want to say the least amount of effort, but they're going to do what they can do. And right now, they can contact you through phone, they can contact you through text, and they can contact you digitally through social media. So if you have no presence, there's no way that they're going to really, you're not going to be able to separate yourself.
And they won't know anything about you either. So it's another big reason why, social media is so big. And, it's 2020, so you've got to have social media.
You got to have social media. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching this video coaching newsletter. We're going to try to do more of these. And if you haven't subscribed to the LPG YouTube channel, go ahead and type in Lucci Prospect Group into YouTube. That's LUCE Prospect Group. Make sure you follow Katie Heap. You can follow her on Instagram. What's your Instagram handle again?
At Katie_Heap.
At Katie_Heap. That's CAITY_HEAP. And you can follow myself. I believe on Instagram I'm at jake.luce, JAKE.LUCE. Again, subscribe to our YouTube channel and give it a thumbs up, give it a like. And with that being said, thanks so much for watching, and we'll talk to you guys soon.